All righty. What is going on? Folks watching the playback, people hopping in as we go. We have got the Ronnie Knuckles from Spearcrest Digital here.
Hey
We're going to
guys,
be
glad to
chatting
be here.
tonight about a little bit of everything, I think. About Spearcrest, Ronnie himself, and just kind of talking through some stuff. So should be a good little chit chat. Another second live in the week. We're really doubling the action here, so should be good. How are you doing, Ronnie, man?
I'm good, man. I am doing well. Glad the snow is finally starting to melt here. I feel like we've had snow on the
Man,
ground for 2 weeks. So
jeez, you said like 8 to 12 inches or something like that altogether, or was
yeah,
there
so
more?
we had I think we ended up getting like 8 or 9 inches the first go around. The big one that went through like Kansas City and St. Louis, it hit us, and then a few days later we ended up getting like another 4 inches on top of that. And so
Dude?
we don't, when I was a kid, it's feel like it snowed a lot more, but over the last 5 to 10 years, we haven't gotten much snow in the wintertime in
Right.
Kentucky. But maybe 2 or 3 inches at most. But 12 inches on the ground was a big deal here. So
Bro, just that's a lot of shoveling. That's a lot of plowing.
yeah,
Man,
well, I tried to do the minimal amount of shoveling
yeah.
if possible.
Oh my gosh, man. Yeah,
Uh,
it wasn't too bad here. At least two or three little episodes of snow coming
mhm.
through, 2 or 3 inches at a time. To be honest, my neighbor, um, he every year he builds. I got to take a picture of it or something. He builds a some type of sea creature, and
Oh,
so
that's kind of cool.
it's out of snow. And so this year, I think he's done this most years, but I know he's done a few other things before. But he built like a sea turtle. Like
Nah.
we're talking like 10 feet across, like just ridiculous. And so I don't know, it's pretty wild. Anyways, a part of doing that, he had to take all the snow on his yard, and then he took most of the snow on my driveway and
Hey,
other
yeah.
places. And I'm like, brother, you can have it. I appreciate
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
All the
dude.
snow
You
you
sure you
can
don't
get.
need two sea turtles?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then he'll put either like food coloring or something. It's like green.
That's super
It
cool,
is.
man.
It's like he's sculpting it. I don't know. He's like a woodworker, but anyways,
I
it's
still
pretty
want to
neat.
make sandcastles. I don't know if I could handle a turtle in the snow.
Oh man,
That's super cool, though, man. That is cool.
like appreciate you
I
shoveling my stuff, and I'll take it. You
Yeah,
keep the turtles cooking. I don't know,
yeah,
man. So, but yeah,
that
not
is cool.
not too bad here. But yeah, we got Dylan in the house. What's up, guys? Glad to have you
Yo,
here, sir.
what's up, dude?
Did you get to meet Dylan at the Lone Star?
Yeah, yeah. We're gonna be working together here.
Oh, beautiful.
We're gonna be getting some new stuff launching for Dylan here very, very soon, and I'm really excited for it. So
Awesome.
really cool. They got snow in Texas too, man.
That's what I'm hearing. I don't know.
Crazy.
Dylan, how much did you guys get down there? A couple inches or like more than us
I
or
think it was a couple inches based on
okay.
the picture she sent me.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah. I was like, "Yeah, I got some pictures of your cans," and he sent them to me, and there was snow in them, and I'm like, "Did he steal these off the internet?" And then I realized that storm had like come through that area.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Man. Yeah, anytime I've been getting about 5 at the house. Wow.
Oh, that's a lot. That's more than I
Okay.
expected.
In Texas. Wow. Yeah. Anytime getting a new can that has not been used and abused yet, I try to take as many pictures as I
Oh yeah.
can before it gets all, you know, banged up or scratched or whatever. So
I had a
yeah.
client that texted me today. He's in. I'm sorry. He's not like an SEO client. He's just a website design client. And he went to pick up his new can. They're like a bright green color. They really stand out. On his way back from picking them up, somebody rear-ended him. destroyed their car. I mean, and I'm like, dude, your brand new can, the can's got a tiny little scuff like on the back. It totaled their car. He's been waiting on it for months to come in. So.
Oh my gosh, man. That is, I mean, I guess a little scratch is better than the can getting totaled too, but I mean, it's you know, I don't know, solid can. It sounds like.
Oh, that's what I'm saying. That's what I said. I said it's must have been built well. At least you got that going for you.
And quality control.
Yeah.
Check.
Yeah.
Oh my word. VPS, what's going on, man?
Hey, what's up, man?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What's going on? Awesome. Well, tonight, if we wanted to just chat a little bit more, we got WC Dumpster Rentals. What's up, guys? Eddie here from Charlotte, North Carolina. A nice 44-degree night.
Yeah, dude.
I'm
it was
jealous.
Here today too. It was like 50, almost 50 here today. So,
man,
Eddie, I sent you an email earlier, brother. Good to see you, man.
We've had like 6 degrees, 10 degrees the last couple of days, and I know it's really dipped, and now it's starting to go back up before it goes back really far down again. But it was like 22 degrees or something today, and I was like, man, I don't even know if I need my coat now. It's getting a little warm, bro.
That's spring. It's spring.
I can feel the air not being crystallized or something.
Yeah.
Here in Northwest Georgia, we had snow, and in some places we still do right now. And on the forecast, we will have some more next week. Man, BPS. Today I had two 15-yard cans that completely frozen solid. I mean, it was just
that's rough.
So thankfully, this is pretty much going to be my new bailout for frozen cans now. Our transfer station got a I don't know, the largest pick you could possibly. I mean, it's basically an I-beam, and at the end of the I-beam, it's got like a little cross member that's really thin, and they use that to scrape the bottom of it and like just lift everything up. And so, close to spit shine, besides a little bit of ice still on the bottom of the can, just really pretty solid. Besides close to the doghouse at the front or at the top. So that's been pretty clutch.
That's pretty
today.
cool. They charge you to do that, or they just do it for you?
They're supposed to, but
you got a cool guy out there. It's like, I got you, buddy.
I bring them food, and so we just take care of them that way. So
food coming, keep the cans clean.
I've got DoorDash. I've got their address connected on the DoorDash, so we just send the food straight to you guys. So
that's awesome. That's awesome.
Man, enjoying it for now. Next week, nothing but low teens. Feel like I'm back in Chicago. Oh man.
Yeah, North Carolina and Georgia getting snow is y'all aren't built for it, man. Like we are, So I get it, dude. It's rough.
Man. All right, cool. So what's new? What's going on with Spirit Crest? What's cooking?
Dude, there is a lot of new stuff that's getting ready to come out that we're going to be announcing over the next probably month or so. One of the biggest things that really happened today. You met Tim at the dumpster showcase.
Saw that post.
Yeah, man. So he was Tim and I grew up together, and he was kind of looking for work about the time that I jumped into Spirit Crest full time. And so I was like, look, man, I can't pay you anything, but you can, at least for now, but you can jump in and help me. And then as we get clients, I'll get you taken care of. And so he jumped in full steam ahead, man. And it wasn't too long until we were able to put him, on a salary at Spirit Crest. And so during that whole period, of course, if anybody wants to know the full story, I'm not going to read it all here, but you can go see my post on Facebook. He helped me establish the whole thing. Without him, I mean, we would have made it, but we would have been we would not have been able to do half of what we've done.
Hmm.
And so, long story short, we have the junk removal business, and I was able to plug him into that as the operations manager, and now made him a part owner, and so he's taking it on full steam, and so I'm really excited to see what's happening. That business always does well. It's got good SEO, but we don't push. We're not building relationships. And it used to be when we, maybe 2 or 3 years ago, we had a lot of big contracts in place. Even had a contract with the city for a while, and instead of doubling down on those things, we've just kind of let those go, and we just rely on the SEO and the organic ranking and stuff, which is good enough. But I want to see that business really thrive. And so anyway, he's going to take it in and hit the gas, and that also frees me up completely for Spearcrest. It's kind of been that way for a while, being the operations manager, but I still have to, every couple weeks or so, I have to get in with a meeting and spend, 5 to 8 hours with him, spend a day with him, really, just making sure everything is good. And now it's like, hey, you're the owner, bro. I'm here to help you, but this is your baby. So anyway, it's really a benefit to Spearcrest. Because that frees up a lot of headspace, and gives him total focus on that. So that's sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I know when I was kind of torn between at the time kind of side hustle dumpster business and RV transport, just surviving day to day, paying my own bills, and then trying to build the business. It was like I can't do both well, and it's like, okay, you got to jump in all the way, or like you got to make a decision, kind of a thing. And for me, it was the results of that was maybe not exactly instant, but it was like just for my mind, just for my mentality, it was just see ya.
You're good.
So it was such a freeing kind of moment to be able to do that. And
I advise that to people all the time. I worked full time most of the time running the junk removal business, and if I had jumped in full time 5 years ago, my life would look different. But I had small kids, and it wasn't that easy, and a good career at the time. So but if I would have just taken the leap then, it would have sucked. But my mental head, it would have really been a bit of a shortcut compared to what I went through to get to where it was. But anyway, so we've battled through it and weathered the storm. And so I'm really excited about that. Not just for him, but also for Spearcrest to be able to just completely dive into that, not have to worry about the junk removal side at all.
I was going to say with that, I mean, it sounds like being in the junk removal for so long, that's able to plug directly into helping everybody else that you're helping through Spearcrest.
Well, it gives us insight into the industry that we wouldn't have otherwise. We just, without having that direct insight into but now I get to hear that from a guy that's in the same building rather than have to experience it every day, and I think having kind of that 30,000 foot view is going to be a little bit more of an asset for our clients as well, rather than me having to get caught up in the nitty gritty and the grainy stuff and the small operation details. Now I'm going to be able to look at it from a higher level and really get a better understanding of what's worked. Because we guinea pig my business before we roll out new stuff to our clients.
So that's a huge thing to be able to, test it. It's all testing. For any business out there, we've got to be testing different things, seeing what works, what doesn't, and then pick the good stuff and go with that.
True.
That's it's a good deal. Oh, we got a couple. Ronnie, I'm liking what I see on my new website. Can't wait for it to be completed. Boom. Nice.
Yeah, dude. We're close, man. We're close. I think we're just a couple of days here. We'll have you guys live, man. I think it's going to be sick.
Let's go. Tyler did say my local transfer station quit doing dig outs. Oh, with the excavator for us. Now, if it's frozen, we have to empty what falls out and hand unload everything else.
Rough.
Tyler, bro, You might as well cancel the gym membership because that's basically it right there.
Oh yeah.
Um, that's a good hour. I mean, depending on the size dumpster and what was on the bottom.
Yeah.
I mean, I've spent close to 2 hours filling with a 15 or a 20 yard,
Mm-hmm.
and it's just like it's crazy. And frankly, preparing the customers, I might add something in on the order form on when people check out on the website, and just say, hey, you're acknowledging that it's freezing temperatures. It's possible that there could be something still stuck to the bottom. It's not going to be like it would be normally. Some type of something I feel like I need to put on there.
Not a bad idea.
Or like a pop-up or something. So I don't know, but
or something like something in your process when temperature drops below, say, 40 degrees, it's kind of an automatic process trigger. Or even like through the months of December, January, and February, that's just something you say.
Yeah. Do you think and I don't know, I'm curious, what do you think about having we're just kind of rolling with this as we go, but
I like it.
what do you think about having, whether it's for this or anything else, having a pop-up on your homepage when somebody comes to your website? Is that a horrible idea? Is that a great idea? Does it depend? What have you seen with that?
One of the worst things I've ever seen happen was due to a pop-up on a website. So I'm super sketched out by them. I don't hate chat pop-ups all the time. They can be annoying though. And so you got to be careful and make sure it's not like an overly obsessive chat pop-up. I do, however, like for notifications and stuff. So I'll give you an example. So like on your site, where you scroll down on the homepage and we can see the dumpster sizes and stuff. So I do like having like temporary runners that are like a color that stands off to make an announcement.
Okay.
And you can even your header, if it's a sticky header, you can put the announcement in the header. So as you're scrolling down the page, that announcement sticks with you. And so it's like it always just doesn't have to be anything crazy, but it just says whatever you need to say. Hey, through the months of December to February, there is a chance that blah, blah, blah. With a pop-up, I'll tell you the story real quick. So we have a restoration client, and they already had a website, and it was fine. It was built on WordPress, not a bad website. And we'll do SEO for sites if they're built well and they're on a WordPress platform or a DRS or a docket, right? So we'll do SEO on those sites. In this case, great site. We started doing the SEO. We had, he wasn't ranking for any keywords. We got him up to like 40 keywords. They're moving up. They're ranking well. And I started doing some research, and he's ranking for 0 keywords. Well, they had added a pop-up to the homepage. And when you land on the homepage, that pop-up pops up, and then you have to navigate. It doesn't like go away or whatever. And so you have to manually exit out of it, and then you can get to the content. Well, apparently Google didn't like that, and they just said, okay, well, this is a bad user experience. And over the course of 30 days, they lost 40 keywords. And so now it's like, I was like, hey, you have to get a new website or remove the thing, remove the pop-up. And they were like, well, it's time for a new website anyway. Let's just do that. So now we're having to go through the process of getting them a new website. Worked out well. I think it's going to work out better for them in the long run, but it's good we caught it because we monitor and checking on our clients twice, every couple of weeks, twice a month. We're not only just checking on them, we're actually communicating with them. And so I just happened to pick up the phone and notice that it just wiped him out. So pop-ups, that's probably debatable. But again, my opinion is it hurts the user experience enough for me to just say it's really not worth it. You know what I mean?
It's easy. Well, maybe not easier, but it's less of a shocking thing for a customer to have to exit out or have to click OK. Is that kind of, I guess, putting another layer of them having to engage to press on forward? You're another wall, basically, you're saying?
Yeah. So like, a cookies pop up. is fine because that's a legality thing. And typically cookie pop-ups are at the bottom. They're not too, they can be intrusive, but you can make them where they're not a huge ordeal. But outside of that, it's just adding in another layer where people are just trying to get the information, man. They don't want to have to go through and click here, and they don't know if they want to talk to you yet. And so if the first thing you say is chat with us now, they're like, whoa, I just need to see what you do first, and then I'll chat with you,
Yeah.
And so, look, I have never run data on this. So I'm speaking anecdotally and my own experience, and then also just speaking to what, from an SEO perspective, I have to look at everything through the lens of what is a good client experience. And I know based on what I've actually seen happen is Google doesn't like pop-ups, especially if they're too much. And so we just avoid them altogether.
Yeah. Yeah. If Google's against it, then.
And I'm not saying they don't like all pop-ups. That's not a fair statement. But for me, it's like, unless the client is like, I want to pop up, we just avoid them,
Gotcha. I know when I built my my different size dumpster quiz, I had it as its own section on the website, its own tab. But then I also had it as a pop-up that was like kind of delayed on the homepage. And I'm really wondering if that, you're saying losing 40 keyword things. I'm like, bro, did that happen to me? Like, did that, before, when I put it together, like, oh no. Now I'm,
this was a unique, it was a big pop-up, Okay. And did you have to like manually exit out of yours to go on with your navigation, or was it just like over in the corner where,
it was big. It was a big thing right in the middle. It took up most of the screen. It was white against the, the background was blurred out. And so, it was kind of what you're describing.
It could have affected you, man. Yeah. So,
man, that's wild. Well, that's good to know. And you basically said kind of more like a banner thing underneath the top layer is a better, safer option.
I like runners, man. I think if you put a runner in, a temporary runner in a section that, is related to whatever announcement you need to make. In this case, maybe even like just underneath the header, through the months of whatever. And it doesn't need to be, the tonality and how you communicate it is important, so that it's not like, we ain't taking your crap if it's frozen. It's like, you need to make sure you word it right. But that gets the point across. And then that way, if for some reason people give you any grief, it's like, hey man, it's at the top of our website, or it's right on the homepage of our website, and then there's really nothing they can say.
Gotcha.
It's more of just a way to CYA,
Okay. Word to the wise there. Congrats, Ronnie. Saw a lot of the group here with Daniel switching to you with the websites. Starting to feel like being part of a winning team. Let's go!
Oh, yeah, dude. Yeah. Hey, you are, man. You are, brother.
Let's go.
I appreciate you, dude. I'm excited about. Yeah, you're right, Carlos. But yeah, hey, Matt. I'm excited for you, dude. I think you guys are going to kill North Georgia. You guys are going to do really good up there.
Heck yeah. Let's see. What else is going on? What does do you have, besides like, getting more clients and building and constantly growing in that way, do you have like a winter routine for the business for Spearcrest? Are there like similar to maybe a dumpster business or junk removal, like is there like a cleanup efficiency boost time for you guys? What does that look like for you?
Yeah, that's an interesting question. So Spearcrest has been around since 2022, so 3 years. I want to say 2021 for some reason. We've been around for about 3 years. And last year was the first time we were like, had a lot of clients and we're like fully submersed into it. And so we were doing renovations on our offices. And so we kind of shut down from about this time last year until March. just so that we could get our offices ready for spring. And, dumpsters are slow, junk removal home service-based niches are pretty much slow this time of year, no matter what industry you're in. And so we took that time knowing that our clients were going to be kind of slow to just really maintain, because if our clients are slow, there's a chance that they're going to cancel because they can't afford the service because they're slow. And so we just wanted to really focus on maintaining the relationships with our clients and then giving ourselves some time to get everything ready. And so this year, we came back from Texas, man, and it got wild for us. I mean, it got real crazy. We brought on a lot of clients pretty rapidly, which was great and a blessing. My goal was to have everything done and launched before the 1st of January. It's looking like that's going to get done before the 1st of February. So, we're not too far off. And then in February, what we'll probably do, not a full stop, but we're going to dial in all. So we're in a constant state of optimizing our business units. So like client success was a really, really big focus point for me in 2024. In 2025, it's not just going to be obviously we want our clients to be successful, but now we're going to be refining the internal process of that. So like every time we sign on a new client, they're going to get a thank you or handwritten thank you card. We're going to be sending them a gift at 6 months and at a year. And we're going to celebrate with them. And we want them to not just feel like they're part of a winning team, but be a part of that winning team, and so to do that, we have to refine our internal process. And so we'll spend February doing that. We have a sales process. Most of our sales through the agency come through social media. And just because, I've been around on the internet for a while and, I get to come on and meet guys like you and do cool videos like this. And that helps us, build our brand because it helps our reputation. People understand, oh, we're an agency who's like some real people. We're not perfect, but we're real guys who care. And that can't just be me. So we've got a sales guy who does outbound, and we're going to be refining the sales process and getting him to where people get to know him some more. And so some of that stuff can flow through him too. So anyway, we don't take our foot off the gas a ton, but I like to use January, February to really refine so that when we hit spring, our existing clients are like, oh yeah, this is even better than I thought. And our new clients are like, oh dude, this is that kind of agency I've been looking for. And every year, if we can use a month to just do that, every year we just continue to get better and better. And so we take the time to do that. It sucks a little bit because we have to take our foot off the sales process. But to me, it's like, it can't all be about the money and the sales. It's got to be about really making sure we're delivering a good product. And we're not going to be perfect every time, but we're going to spend the time to try to be,
I asked that because right now, not to derail the conversation, but
no, you're good.
That was I've put, I don't know, several $1,000s into different upgrades for trucks and different projects I wanted to get done, either cleaning stuff or like maintenance for just maintenance of the whole stinking business. Just a lot of different little things that add up to a pretty big pile. And I was planning on, I'm assuming part of December, January, February, like you're saying, and just whether I'm getting calls or not, or it's slow or whatever's going on, I'm doing everything full steam, whether it's crazy outside, and I'm grateful it hasn't been that bad, or, I wanted to get all that stuff done. And seemingly right now, with health issues and stuff going on, I feel like I kind of got robbed. I'm not able to put a lot of effort and energy into doing all those things. And I'm thinking just kind of down the road, like, okay, so when am I going to be able to get this stuff done? Because by March time, April time, like we're already cooking, and
Yeah.
I'm a little concerned about how that's going to go with all these things I want to get done. And I'm like, there's got to be, you guys have got to be doing a digital version of that kind of a thing. And so it is what it is. And
look, it's tough, dude. It's tough. And like I said, my goal was to have it to be completely done and through all of it before the holidays so that I could enjoy the time with my family. And I didn't enjoy a single second of the holidays because we had, it was just mass chaos, man. And it's the life of a business owner, especially a small business. You're never going to be in perfect balance. Everybody wants to be, but if you're just never going to be, man, and you're not going to, sometimes you're not going to get done what you want to get done. And you're in a unique situation, which doesn't help matters. But the reality is we have this, I like this method, man. I don't even know where I heard it, probably a Hormozy quote or something, but I try to set my goals super high. Like by the end of February, I want to make sure that we get all of this done as a business, right? The reality is it's probably not going to happen, but we're going to land at a much further point than if I kind of set the bar like where I know for sure we're going to get that done. So I raise it up to where it's like, man, if everything works out perfectly and the stars align and none of my guys get sick and blah, 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 we could do this, but it's going to be a really, really hard stretch. I know I'm probably going to land somewhere in between what we can definitely get done and that. And so I've found that to be the most helpful. Kind of set my bar knowing what we can do and then figure out what would it look like if everything aligned perfectly. So that's where we're at right now because I got some big plans. But see, Tim's going on a mission trip to Africa in a week.
Really?
So I have these huge plans, but I'm going to be all spread thin here in another week or two. So we'll see how it plays out.
Gotcha.
Life of a business owner.
That's I was about to say, like, man, we can do all the planning we want to do. We can, pull triggers on things, and at the moment's, notice, no, you're not. Things change, and the beautiful thing is, as we learn and grow in whatever we're doing, it's like we have to be able to adapt. We have to be able to, we got to be able to pivot. And the faster we're able to pivot and turn that corner and just keep on going with whatever we can do, then, we may be not where, like you said, where we want to be, but we're still going to get some stuff done. I think, things are happening. So,
man. I mean, I think that's the testament of like, an entrepreneur at its root is being able to adapt and being able to have that grittiness and resilience when things change and being able to make quick decisions. They don't always have to be the perfect and right decisions, but they need to be made quickly. And good entrepreneurs will do that, and they'll flex and grind through the hard stuff. And those are the people that make it out the other side. You know what I mean?
Another thing that came to my mind a couple of days ago when I did the live stream, I kind of talked about my hard lesson I learned, and thankfully I didn't lose the customer. My Surf Pro customer. I assumed that if anything comes to mind, interrupt and let me know if anything pops up. But
listen, man. I'm good at interrupting people. I'm going to shut up and let you talk, okay?
So months ago now, 6 months or so ago, I got a call from Surf Pro, and they were like, we need a dumpster immediately, and we got a big project going on, and it's going to be a lot of dumpsters. We did like 9 dumpsters at that one house. It was water filled up to like 3 feet below the basement was filled up all the way to like the step of the first floor. And so big project. I kept them going. It was like a dumpster a day, boom, boom, or more for number of days, and they loved me. It was fantastic. Anyways, when they called me, like, they never asked about price. They didn't care about anything. They just said, we need something now. And I said, I can definitely do that.
Those are the best ones.
So it was fantastic. Well, eventually, all the guys at Surf Pro, the crew, they were, saying they love me. They like working with me better than the bigger company, better service. I'm chatting with them. I'm not a jerk. I offered them water and stuff, like different things like that. And they were like, if he doesn't make you the permanent guy, then I'm yelling at the owner. And I'm like, okay, bro, like, appreciate that. But, I don't know what to say to that, but thank you, but chill. But so,
I'll do that.
So since then we've been doing cans. We've been doing a number of cans. And so, they're my biggest customer right now. And so, maybe even for all of last year, but, yeah. So they asked for a can at their yard, which is right in front of my yard, because we're at the same storage place. And I sat down, I talked with the owner. We never talked about price when we sat down at Wendy's. And we just talked about life. We talked about, very personal guy, just very wanting to mentor anybody in business, just really, incredibly kind guy who, he was a blessing to me. I mean, if they never, I feel like if I'd asked him, hey, would you mentor me in any way? I think he would say, yeah. What time? What day you want to start getting together? Like, that's the kind of guy. And I'm like, incredible. But again, we never talked about price. So had a can sitting at his yard, sat there for like over a month. My price, because my day rate is still a little bit higher than the average person. I charged the card on file when I dumped and returned it, and it was significantly higher for sitting that long than other companies. So he just emailed me and basically was like, hey, so we had no idea this is your price structure. I didn't know that. That's my fault. But what's kind of going on? And so I was like, oh man, dude, like, all of it is in the contract, and you guys have already done, I don't know how many dozens of dumpsters, close to 50 plus. I mean, it's different when they're charging other people and, hitting the insurance company, but when it's for them, it's like, okay, we actually care now.
Yeah, exactly. When it's their cash.
It was kind of a hard thing. And I was like, man, is this it? Are they about to throw me under the bus? Like, are they mad? I'm just assuming the owner might still be super chill, but the accounting guy, he might be like that no good, rotten little.
Yeah, they're screwing you over, man.
Yep. So I just said, listen, I apologize. I should have communicated the pricing even more upfront. It's on the website. It's everywhere else, but this is on me. How can I make it right? Blah, 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 blah. And basically he came back and said, listen, we're a growing business too. And I went into changing my price structure. I said, I'm going to be getting more cans, and just kind of peeling back the curtain a little bit, being pretty transparent with them. And it was just all nothing but love, in return. And he's like, oh, this doesn't change anything for us. I just needed to know, frankly, and we're just going to move on from here. It's all good. And so that situation momentarily had me sweating a little bit, bro. Like,
I bet it did, man.
If he was a lesser of a understanding person, and I could debate, well, like, you should have known, like, why did you call me and not ask for pricing? And just like, accountability on both sides, I guess. But like, at the end of the day, like, if I didn't do my part, or even, go above and beyond and over communicate, which seems to be just barely enough for people to actually catch anything, and kind of like over smother them with info. I feel like I learned my lesson in that. So I don't know if you have any thoughts, experiences with anything or all the businesses, whatever,
I've got some crazy. I've forgotten a lot of crazy stories, but I want to say this. So I'll tell you one specific to digital marketing. That's happened to me a bunch of times in junk removal. Not a bunch of times, but enough for me to remember. But there's a funny story about the digital marketing side. So long story short, before I get into that, I wanted to make a point. What stood out to me in that story is that not only so first of all, he led with taking ownership of the mistake, right? So he said, maybe it's our fault for not catching that. We didn't see it, whatever. What are we going to do here? And then you responded by taking ownership. So it wasn't, nobody in either situation put the responsibility of the mistake on the other person. It was like, hey, this is both of our faults. We're both business owners. We both should have caught this, right? So instead of getting defensive and letting your pride and ego get in the way, you very quickly said, hey, what can I do to make this right? Obviously my prices are listed everywhere. They're that way for a reason, right? You said that without having to say it, but I really value you guys as a customer. What do we need to do to make it right? And you know what? That guy's good. And now you get to retain him. There's a book called if I'm a book, I don't want to be the guys like, have you read this book? I hate acting like that. But man, there are some really good books out there that I've recommended a couple to you, but I want to recommend this one real quick. Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink. Jocko he was a commander of SEAL Team. I think he was SEAL Team 3, maybe, in Iraq. And he led Extreme Ownership by Jocko Willink, and Leif Babin is the co-author.
Okay, I'm not going to be able to spell that. I'm just going to put this in the chat.
Just put Jocko. If you put Extreme Ownership, Jocko, you'll find it.
Jocko, Jocko. Is that?
Yes, and he looks like his name. It's the weirdest thing ever.
Okay,
I'm not even going to explain that to you. When you see him, you're like, this dude looks like a Jocko. That's to be his name.
That's awesome.
But the entire concept of that book is not just taking like, oh yeah, that's my bad, but taking that to like a whole new level. Like everything that's wrong, not just in your business, but in your life and everything else, it's your problem. And the results are mistakes that you've made. And so the way that you fix this is you take extreme ownership of these problems. You accept the fact that you made these mistakes, and then you begin to correct them. It's an extreme book, but it will change your perspective on when things are going wrong, how to fix them very quickly by just taking ownership of the situation, whether or not you need to, right? Whether or not you need to take ownership of that. So this has ever since reading that book, anytime something bad happens or like I can feel my ego or my pride getting attacked, I try to think, okay, what can I do? I don't do this very good all of the time, but I try to remember, all right, what did I not take ownership of here that I can take ownership of right now that will allow me to correct this situation? And, I'll give you an example. I'll give you 2 examples for Spearcrest. So when I first started the agency, this was maybe, I couldn't even give you a timeline. We had been around for maybe a year, so still kind of early on, and we were building websites, started getting some traction in the junk removal space specifically, and we started putting out some good looking websites. Our websites now blow them out of the water. I mean, I get like secondhand embarrassment looking at the sites we were putting out back then, but they were still, given the industry, they were comparable to. I don't want to name any names, but some of the bigger dumpster rental companies that put out websites, right? They were comparable to that. They weren't knock your socks off, cool looking, but they were good. And we had this guy, and he was like, this is what I want, blah, blah, blah. I didn't want anything according to the first few conversations that we hadn't already done. We had sent him like 5 or 6, sites that we had built for him to make sure he liked them. So he built out his site, and he responds and he goes, "This is the ugliest thing I've ever seen in my entire life." That's it. That was his exact response to the website. And dude, I was fired up because I was still building them myself back then. And so that's an immediate attack on me, right? My egotistical brain at the time. I was mad, dude. But I'm like, if I respond to him that way, I mean, that's not who we are as an agency. So I had to like calm down. And I'm like, look, I'm really sorry that's not, I did send you over a ton of examples. What we're capable of, kind of what our design flair is. And I'm like, what do you want? And so he sends me over a site of one of the largest franchises in the country. And it's like probably a $25,000 website. He's like, I want this. And I'm like, look, man, that's just not something that, we weren't going to be able to do that back then. Now we can compete with some of our sites look as good as some of the big franchises. And so we could do that now, but we're a newish agency. We just didn't have that capability. And so I'm like, well, look, man, we must have just had a miscommunication. I'm sorry. There's nothing. That's a $25,000 website. That's not, you're getting a $1,500 website, I think is what I charged him. And he said, if you don't give me all my money back right now, I'm going to go in all the Facebook groups and tell them that you're and he was like threatening me with this. And I'm like, hey man, look, you could have just asked for your money back, dude. That would have been fine. And I would have probably you didn't have to threaten me.
Well, he's probably anticipating that you would say, see you later, sucker, and just completely ghost him. So he anticipated it and just was like, here you go, knuckle sandwich to start off the whatever,
So here's what happened with that. Fast forward 2 years, I give him his money back, right? Which, look, if he didn't get what he didn't want, whatever, that's fair. That's fair. Fast forward 2 years though, and that dude's been blocked from like 4 or 5 groups. Now we have one of the biggest junk removal groups in the country. Guess who's not going to be a part of that group now? You see what I'm saying? And so when you act like that, now had he said, "Look, man, look, it's not really what I was looking for. I'm sorry, but is it cool? You could give my money back and we can call it good." That would have been fine. Handshake. You know what? Am I bad? And then that would have been over. But when you act like that, it always comes back to get you. Maybe it'll take a couple years, but especially as a business owner, your reputation is one of the most important things you have, and whether things work out your way or they don't, taking ownership of those situations and protecting your brand and your reputation by acting right is huge, man. You did a great job doing it there. And so I think people need to take some notes.
I was on pins and needles. Not only is it the biggest customer and foreseeable, long-term, like serious money going down the road as he's scaling and all that. But I just, it was one of those things like for me to, I don't know, in general, I usually probably take blame that I shouldn't even be taking. And I'm maybe too hard on I'm in the other side of the ditch sometimes where like, dude, like you can't anticipate everything.
Right.
There's many things you can, and you learn and whatever, but like the biggest, apology that, and I don't know where I've heard this from. Might have been from my dad. Dad, if you're watching the playback, hit me in the comments. I know I've heard this a bunch of times, and I've said it a lot, and I think it a lot. But like the best apology that you could give anybody is changed behavior. Mm-hmm. It ends the conversation in the best way, and the changed behavior is evidence that you truly were like, oh shoot, dude, like this wasn't it. Mm-hmm. I've got to do something different, and the changed behavior in the future. And obviously, it doesn't mean you're perfect from that next step on, but
Yeah.
like the consistent pattern, seeing a true, genuine change. You're still human, but that changed behavior is like, there's nothing else to talk about. Like you, it's, I don't know. It's that's so powerful to me. Change behavior, I don't know.
Dude,
That's
my wife's listening to this, so don't talk too loud because she tells me that all the time. But you know what, man? You know what? You're right. She's right. Your dad's right. That sounds like such a dad thing to say too. You know what I mean? Like I can hear myself saying that to my kids.
bro, it's just,
it's so true, dude. Because
can't get around it. It's just,
it represents. It's no ego. There's no ego in it. There's no pride in it. There's like, you know what? Yeah, it's humility.
It's that pivoting. It's the I just that's a special thing. So
It is.
to be able to get to that point where we can just say, okay, yeah, let's actually do something about it for real, and just hope we can't skate by by the skin of our teeth type of deal. So yeah,
we can't always be perfect, man, but we can make changes intentionally. For sure,
man.
So I was gonna tell you, you'd asked me what we're going to be doing at Spearcrest, and I'll give kind of a peek behind the curtain before we close the thing out. So I mentioned this earlier. One of the things that I wasn't planning on announcing was we kind of last moment got access to a large junk removal group. Now, I know this doesn't necessarily apply to the dumpster. I mean, dumpster rental companies are more than welcome to join it, but it's tailored to the junk removal industry specifically. We acquired that. And so we're going to be using that. Got like 22,000 members in it, dude. So we're going to be leveraging that to really push out high quality content in the form of SOP documents and that kind of thing. I am going to, because I really love the dumpster rental industry. And I love the junk removal side too, because that's what my business was, but I have just really gotten to really enjoy the dumpster rental side of things. They're in waste industry, so they're very similar. Right. But I say that to say I'm going to be leveraging that group on a higher scale to push out this content to see what works and what doesn't, and refine that, and then push it into my dumpster rental group and then the big dumpster rental group, and really using it as a way to just good. This is a Hormozy thing. What's he call it? Goodwill. Putting out a lot of goodwill.
Yeah.
Pushing out really good content for people that isn't just content to be consumed, but it's content that can be used.
Yep.
Like, how do you have extreme ownership in a situation? Well, take these steps. If a client comes at you like they did with you, you respond to them in the way in which you did. Well, how do you do that? So we're going to be, putting out stuff like communication with clients, actual sales training for our customers so that they can close clients, because our job is to get the phone to ring. Your job is to get the can in their driveway. So how do you do that? And so anyway, I'm excited about having that platform to be able to, one, get our information out there, but two, kind of refine that for the dumpster rental industry. The next thing is our team is having a boot camp of sorts for pay-per-click ads and social media ads in February. And so I get asked all the time, like, hey man, would you ever consider doing text campaign ads or email campaigns for us, or our Google ads or our Facebook ads? And I don't like doing anything that I'm not 100% sure is going to be high quality. What I can tell you is that we put out high quality websites. We are probably one of the top 3 best SEO agencies you'll find in the waste industry, and Google Business Profile Management services. So we're really high quality at those things. That said, I didn't want to roll out ads until we had someone in place on the team who could manage that, because I can manage everything else, but I need someone who is completely focused on the ad side. So the goal is by mid-March, we're going to be rolling out ads management, at least on Google for now, likely doing some Facebook, and if TikTok doesn't get banned, we'll probably do some TikTok ads because there's some huge return data that TikTok is super profitable.
Really?
Yeah. So that's the next thing, and then the last kind of peek behind the curtain. I've been teasing my Facebook follow. I don't have like a bunch of followers, but I've been kind of alluding to there's some big things coming. We're going to be launching a podcast of our own. It will be more of it will not be niche specific. So, like your show or like a marketing tips or, it won't be anything like that. It'll just be myself and my team. We're going to be hosting Bible studies on a live podcast, not a live podcast, but on a podcast once a week as a team. So we have Bible studies now 3 days a week with my agency and then a company up the road. His guys come to my office and we meet. And man, we have some crazy conversations about the Bible.
That's cool.
And, it's cool. So we're going to just start recording those conversations and hopefully keep the same organic feel. And then I'm going to be interviewing entrepreneurs like you and guys who have, just whether maybe they didn't start from the ground up, but they built something,
right?
And that they can share nuggets with people. So I'm not going to put out too much information on that yet. I'm not going to drop the name or anything, but those are kind of the outside of really continuing to grow and client success, staying kind of the center point of 2025 for now. Those are the avenues that we're kind of bringing into the fold because if 2024 was let's focus on client success, 2025 is going to be let's focus on really pushing out value for free as much as we can. That's going to be kind of our 2025.
Heck yeah. We got Elite Dumpsters, only 4 likes, guys. Remember, hit that thumbs up. Let's go. Dylan, that's awesome, Ronnie. I'll definitely subscribe. Hey, you already got one.
I appreciate you, brother. I knew Dylan had my back, dude. Yeah.
Let's go, bro. That's awesome, man. Dude, you're hitting it from every angle. I mean, that's a well-fed, machine, or I don't know what you want to call that, but
you can call me the machine, dude. That's cool.
Bro, yeah, that's you got a full plate hitting.
Yeah, for sure. If I didn't have a team, there's no way I'd be able to do it, man.
Polygon, what's going on? You're tuning in on the end of the deal. We're probably going to wrap it up here in just a second, but dude, it's been good talking with you, chatting through this stuff. This was completely organic. Everybody watching, talking through different things come to mind. Just having another conversation, another business owner to another business owner, and working, talking through stuff. So a little bit of website stuff and business stuff in general. Polygon, what's the name of the junk removal group?
Junk removal for beginners. And when you join, there's going to be some crazy questions. Those are the questions from the old owners. Okay. So don't just answer them. You don't have to answer them. Remind me that you saw me on the live video and I'll approve your request to join. But Junk Removal for Beginners is the name of that group.
Ben Iron Bins, hello to both of you guys.
Hey man, hope you're doing good.
VPS, I asked the questions before you guys started talking about it. Oh,
you come in the group? Yeah, it was like, you want me to teach you how I made $500,000? And I'm like, look, dude, I'm not trying to
whoa, bro,
because it was a coaching group. It was a coaching group before we acquired it. So hop on in, dude. I'll get you approved.
As well to the group. Boom, let's go. Cool. Well, guys, it's a Thursday night. We're living the dream. We're with Ronnie Knuckles. We're having a good time. I think we just hit over an hour. 8 guys perfect. Chilling, making it happen. So I think with that, we'll shut this party down. Again, good chatting with you, bro.
You too, bro. Always.
Things. And until next time, guys, be safe out there. If you got frozen dumpsters, my heart goes out to you.
Get a blow to it.
Yeah, man. Last thoughts for you, Ronnie?
I don't have any, man. It's always a pleasure to come on and talk. I like the free flow, man. I think we should do that more often. I kind of like we can get down some rabbit holes and every entrepreneur has some nuggets, and you got to kind of dig them out. And when you get into that storytelling thing, you drop some bombs. So I like that, man.
No,
dude, I really appreciate you, man. Appreciate all of you guys watching. Thank you, guys. I'll be talking to some of you all tomorrow, probably. So.
Very good. All right, guys. Be safe. God bless. We'll see you.
See you guys.